Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we discuss and review your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, first in the Northern California Bay Area is Greg. How you doing, Greg?
Man, Ozzy, I'm fantastic. Outriders is amazing. I've been enjoying every second of it. How are you doing, Ozzy?
I agree with you. It's a fantastic game. Can't wait to get deeper into it. Todd, Flesh Wound producer, how you doing?
Chilling.
Yeah. As always. Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Excited to talk about this film. Since I was pushing for it for a few months.
You were. And apparently you're chilling at a point when you did some pre-celebratory activity before jumping on this particular recording, which I don't blame you for.
What?
It's
Can you tell?
What?
Can you tell?
Moving
you need
on.
Some Tommy Chong wipes, man.
All right. Tommy Chong smoke wipes. I'll get some on the Amazon. Once again, not a sponsor yet. Now, this week we did review the Method Man Redman classic, How High? But before we jump in to that main event, a preliminary segment, for lack of a better term, features a commercial, which is, well, Todd, can you intro this commercial if you would do the honors? They were talking to you.
It was a product I'm very familiar with. This is
there's the train. It's all right.
This is the commercial for the malt liquor beverage St. Ides, which was a favorite of mine growing up. No Old English, but it was a good second choice. And they had a series of commercials featuring rappers and rapping about their products. So let's hear about Wu-Tang's love of 40 ounces.
Featuring Method Man.
Oh yeah, coming through with my showering crew. 2 cents for a case, give me St. Ides brew. In the midst of broken bottles and crushed up cans, met the cows in the jam, or I'll dry.
With St. Ides in my system, crack another, I'm blessed. Let's go get the next one and get over. The object is to stay sober, lay on the sofa. Better yet, down my shoulder. The wild be champ, stressed out, could never be son. Ricochet jelly, hit the deli for a cold one. Naturally blessed, yes, my rap is like a laser beam.
Okay, so I really thought 100. I thought this was a fake commercial. I'd never heard of the product, but I was a little bit young at the time that it was.
Yeah, you weren't drinking 40s.
I wasn't drinking 40s at the time. No, but I thought it was. I thought it was like a fake commercial created for like a movie. It felt like I was watching a commercial within a movie.
Well, they used to I only ever seen them play during a Rap City on BET back in the day. So it wasn't what you were going to see on, Fox and on Married with Children or something. Yeah. So there's actually a mixtape of all the little jingles, and I have that. Shocker. I have a St. Ides poster on my wall too. Yet not my favorite malt liquor. Go figure.
Apparently not everybody's favorite either, or else they'd still be around, I would imagine.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think Miller bought them. They were a delicious charcoal filtered malt liquor. The number 2 malt liquor, but their special brews were delicious.
Usually when I
know. I'm just like loving the product, so I don't know what we're supposed to do.
No, that's fine. It's just you said it's my number 2 choice, or specifically labeled it number 2, and I don't think number 2 should be a label given anything you consume.
Well, this is true, but it was no Old English, but it was a good second. Like if I got 2 Old English, I get 1 St. Ides just to mix it up.
Okay,
like at the same time. And I'd never drink that St. Ides first, but
interesting.
Better than Mickey's. God damn it! Now I want a 40. Damn you, Method Man!
Listen, this month is about another vice. not the vice of alcohol. We are continuing the Stoner series this week we're now watching How High. We're going to be we watched it already. We're going to be reviewing it, discussing it. This film released in the year 2000, starring Method Man and Redman. This synopsis from Google reads: multi-platinum rap superstars Redman and Method Man star as Jamal and Silas, two regular guys who smoke something magical, ace their college entrance exams, and wind up at Harvard. Ivy League ways are strange, but Silas and Jamal take it in a stride until their supply of supernatural smoke runs dry. That's when they have to start living by their wits and rely on their natural resources to make the grade.
I got it just real quick. It was shot 2000, came out 2001. It's actually the 20th anniversary this year.
Oh, wow.
There you go. And Blu-ray comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
April 6th. So there you go. Mm-hmm. This was directed by Jesse Dillon, written by Dustin Lee Abraham, and of course, starring Method Man and Redman. Initial thoughts on this one, man. Holy Toledo. So 2001, I was a junior in high school, and I really don't remember any other movies that I was like watching at the time that I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this to come out. And this was just one that was just under the radar for me. But I'm glad I was able to see it now. It was a lot of quick. I guess the best way I could describe it is, and I hate to use this analogy, but I kind of don't, is a football team when described an offense, when they do like short plays, short effective plays, it's called like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And it's like this movie just kept nailing all these like small jokes in a row. That was just like almost like how a couple weeks ago when we did talking about Airplane and how the jokes just kept coming. That's how it felt with this one. And it was so easy to just get into it and just escape, lose yourself, whatever the case may be. Greg?
This movie is one of those ones that I'd probably seen bits and pieces of all the time on like Comedy Central kind of situation. But I'd never seen the movie as a whole. And not only was it a lot funnier than just the few moments that I saw on TV, but man, the story was actually pretty good and coherent. So I really enjoyed it.
Well, it just to make a point here, last week we did see Up in Smoke, which was probably the opposite of a coherent movie. So seeing this one right after is really like oh my gosh, was this nominated for any Oscars? Because damn.
Should have been. It was snubbed that year.
Well, does that kick off your initial thoughts, Todd? Should have been reviewed by the Academy, or it wasn't submitted. Universal should have submitted it.
They probably gave it to Titanic or something that year. I don't know what Titanic came out, so please don't.
It was Titanic was 98, 97,
okay,
98. So. Maybe it would have been Titanic too.
There is a how high too, but we won't talk about that. Different actors, straight to video. Yeah, I've loved this one since it came out. It is actually one of the better stoner comedies. I think Red and Meth are perfect together. This one's just so funny for me. Well, I'll come back when we get to our moments.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The chemistry they had, but the back and forth and everything it was just kind of just fun to be around, or just fun to watch. Moving on to some of the funniest lines. Well, first off, actually, before I jump into the funny line, I did kind of have a laugh first seeing Silas's character, because you first see him with a do-rag, right? And the bandana around, right?
Right.
And that's how I go to bed. That's for my hair. So like when I saw it, I was like, shit.
It's just a normal do-rag, but that's what Ozzy sleeps in now, so that's funny. So
I got the bandana just like that. Actually, I flip it around like 50 Cent because it's easier to tie the knot.
That's the way you're supposed to do. That's a do-rag, like Aunt Jemima wore.
I'm gangsta.
Yeah, you know,
my knot's not big because I have a giant head.
I
need to get one of the jumbo bandanas.
I always had the same problem, but I'm sure when you looked at yourself in the mirror, you probably look like circa 1998 Nash on Nitro with the bandana on.
Kevin Nash, well, especially now with this, yeah.
Or if your hair is wet, more like Hall. But yeah, that was they were big on that.
Back to the film.
No,
into the funniest moments that I was about to jump into. I think what made me laugh the hardest was there's a moment when they go into one of these classes at the university and they sit on an opposite side of a kid who's drinking toilet water, and they kind of egg him on to where he just gets up and leave, and they kind of do their white guy voice to make the teacher think that he's yelling at him. And I was just losing it during the entire time, that whole exchange, that back and forth. Man, it was pretty good. And I got an honorable mention that I did want to mention, but I don't want to steal anything away from you guys in case that's what you got. Greg?
Man, this one was a difficult one to pick a favorite because there were so many great lines in this movie. But one of the times I definitely laughed the hardest was there's all these people trying to convince them what college to go to because they do really well on their tests. And there's one college that comes by and they're like, we specialize in hatred for the white devil, advanced hatred of the white devil, and volleyball. Oh man, I was in tears laughing at that moment. But yeah, no, there's plenty of honorable mentions, but like I said, Todd.
This is another one. Like the one line that made me just laugh the most this time, that I don't know if it's because it's dated or what. I forget the guy's name who has the ghost. Or is that a spoiler?
Well, not really, because it's in the synopsis. Well, no, he dies within like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
Ivory.
But there's a line when after his blind date or his whatever, his internet date, where she's like leaving and he just yells, "I'm gonna take you off my buddy list, bitch." I just lost my mind. Like I was laughing for I had to pause. That's how much it got me. And then anything with baby powder, he is fucking.
Oh
yeah. Mike Epps kills it.
When they tell him that he's about to get knocked the fuck out, was that supposed to be a callback to Friday? Because like while he wasn't in the original, he was the one that's, I'm pretty sure. Or wait, was that the dad that said it in the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Pop says it in the second one, but yeah, he doesn't say it in because he's Day in next Friday or the rest of the Fridays.
Right.
So
in the Friday verse.
Yes, there we go. But yeah, at that point it was just something people said, so I don't even know if it was on purpose.
The honorable mention I was getting, it is the same scene that Greg mentioned with the college entrance, but interviews. Just when one individual said, "Specialize in a vow of celibacy." Next. And he keeps going, and he's like looking right at him like, "Next!" It's just like that. Like those two moments was like such like a good like, man, this movie's a blast. If we're doing honorable mentions, the other scene that had me dying was the Black Studies class with the white professor. When Red and Meth walk out, then he's like talking to the other black suits like, you should just get up and leave too. And I was just like, it calls them Uncle Tom's, and I was just like, damn. It was pretty hilarious.
You
got another one?
There's a scene. Yeah. There's a scene where there are some hoes that are provided to two gentlemen, and one of them was.
You mean that in the good way?
Yes. And one of them says, "I've got a hard 2 inches ready for you." Oh God! Oh, I was done. He was probably too. But yeah.
And her response to that was hilarious too. She's like, okay, we can work with that.
Exactly.
Ozzy's thinking.
It is. Well, I mean, sorry. No, it. I was thinking of the rating, you dick.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So I initially was thinking to give this like a 4.5, but then I thought to I keep thinking to myself, well, why not give it a 5? Like, what's the thing that's not allowing me to give it a 5? Mm-hmm. And I can't think of one because it was such like it went by so fast. The pacing was so good. Like, I don't want to talk about Up in Smoke, but the pacing was a little off with Up in Smoke because of the way that film was, but with the way this was, I really liked the way it flowed. Mm-hmm. I was entertained from start to finish. So I can't, and especially as like a stoner comedy, I can't give it anything less than a 5.
Right. And that's that I was really struggling as well because I tried to think about things like, some of the Mel Brooks films that we've given 5s before, some of those like titans of comedy movies that we've given 5s. And I was like, man, does this stack up to that? And I had to take into consideration it's a different time, and as a whole movie, this movie was a more coherent movie. So than some of the others that we gave 5s that were just super funny. So I was really teetering on that 4.5, 5, but I think I still have to land on a 5 because I agree with you. Like, why wouldn't it? Like, there's nothing that really with this movie you're like, meh, because it was funny, great story. So yeah, I'm landing on the 5.
Well, I mean, I've been pushing this one forever, so we'll just do it. Yes, it's a 5. But it to me, it's like the definition of farce because it is a very farcical comedy. So I that's kind of why I thought Ozzy would be all about it. I mean, it's probably the most we've had in a while that like fill that spot. So probably since we did just have Airplane, but previous to that, we haven't had a lot the past few weeks. Yeah, we will talk about Mystery Men. Okay, but here I got a little bit of info. Right after this, it was a couple years actually. It might have been 2 years. They got a show with it was Method in Red. It was on Fox. It lasted 13 episodes. And like while it was out, like Method Man was not happy because they put a laugh track on it, and it's like a single camera show. And like his thing was he wanted it to be like Arrested Development, like the hip hop Arrested Development, and they put that laugh track on and just killed it. But it was a funny show, even with the stupid laugh track.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you can watch them all on YouTube if you want to get bored. Anyway, not just you, Ozzy.
I think I'll be good, but that should be in a playlist with the Coming to America pilot.
There you go.
Yeah, also with Black Bart too. Why not just throw in all these pilots?
That sounds like a good idea.
I know.
Can't wait to rewatch Coming to America. I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this week's episode of How High. We will continue the Stoner series next week by watching, reviewing, and discussing Pineapple Express. Looking forward to that one. And until then, don't forget to check out Flesh Wound Horror on Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
All right, Wednesdays it is, and we'll be back next.
Say it like Monday. You know it.
Well, anything can happen within 48 hours. You never know. He is Flesh Wound producer Todd. That is Greg, and I'm Ozzy V. We'll see you next week right here on Flesh Wound Farce.